Up next in just a minute or so, we'll have Coach Scottie Montgomery from ECU. We may have him here in just a moment. And we have been joined by Coach Scottie Montgomery from ECU. ECU is 2-3 overall, 0-2 in the American. The Pirates were in action Saturday against Temple. Temple won the game 49-6. ECU is back at home this week with a Saturday game against Houston at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium in Greenville, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central on CBS Sports Network. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the game against Temple, please, and what you expect to see as you're back at home on Saturday against Houston.
I thought Temple did a good job of starting the game fast, and we did not. Once we were down by 2 to 3 touchdowns, it took us out of our run game. And put us in a one-dimensional game, a catch-up game, where they were able to increase the just the pressure on our protection, and we didn't do a good job of being able to handle that pressure. Defensively, I thought they did a really good job of completing passes that we gave them. We didn't challenge them on the perimeter as much as we have in the past here in the last few games, and they took full advantage. They also were able to create another touchdown in special teams, which they've done a really good job. And that's something that we're definitely going to have to get corrected as we move forward to a really good Houston football team. We're really truly looking forward to coming back home, being back in Greenville and playing in Dowdy-Ficklen and getting the advantage of home field once again. We are relatively healthy. We've had a few little snags and bumps and bruises, but relatively at this point in time of the year, you got to say that we're pretty healthy moving forward.
We'll take questions for Coach Scottie Montgomery. Hit *1, please, on your telephone keypad, and the operator will introduce you. Hit *1 for questions, please.
We'll take our first question from Tom Shanahan with Raleigh News and Observer.
Hi, Coach. I was going to write about Nate Harvey, and I know overall it was a bad defensive day, but I noticed he had 3 tackles for losses. Can you talk about his play? And then also maybe comment on how he's still excelling well, even though I assume teams are paying more attention to him with their blocking.
Yeah, he's getting a lot more. He's getting a lot more attention. He's a unique combination of both speed and strength. He's one of the strongest guys we have on our team, but he's also one of the fastest and quick in short areas. So he's done a really good job. I think he's using his hands a lot better at this time of the year than he was at the beginning of the year. So he's coming off of some double teams. He's coming off of guys sliding protection to him. He bends well. Just really powerful force at his size. And we're starting to see different protections, different run schemes. But he found a way to show up every weekend. Because of all the stress and pressure that he's getting now, we need someone else on the opposite end and in our interior to continue to grow. We have 2 great defensive ends. I think that we can develop a few more there, and our interior defense is playing well. But a lot of that has to do with a lot of the attention being directed toward Nate Harvey.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
I'll take our next question from Joseph Duarte with the Houston Chronicle.
Good morning, Scottie.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you kind of along that line of question for the opposite side. When you face a defensive player like an Ed Oliver, other than trying to keep him from causing havoc, what is it about teams that when you put 2 and maybe even 3 guys on a guy? I mean, is that an ultimate sign of respect for what a guy can do when he can change things around, and you have to commit that type of protection just for one guy?
I think the ultimate in respect for a player like Ed, and he definitely deserves it, is knowing that, and he knows this, that offenses are spending multiple hours on trying to find different ways to slow him down in the run game, in the pass game. So I think it's the time spent, and it's not as simple as putting 2 in him and 3 in him in different games. It's about the strategic details of the game playing that moves you from the first quarter to second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter, and being able to adjust or adapt before Houston gets a chance to adapt and move him to another spot. So having all these different things ready to go in case, he does end up at the nose, in case he does end up at a 4-eye, in case he does end up at a 3 technique in a 4-down scheme. So the ultimate respect that you can give a player I think in college, whether it be in college or pros, is that the opposite coordinators, opposite position coaches are spending a ridiculous amount of time in trying to find ways to stop him, and not only stop him, but to stop the adjustment when they're using him to move him around. So just spend a lot of time. He's a great player. I played against some really, really good ones. I think the last one that I played one that was at his level was Aaron Donald when I was at Duke and he was at Pittsburgh. This is a very, very unique skill set, size, strength, speed, ability to bend. It's just a different player. You don't get a chance to see these guys, but maybe once every 10 years or so.
Thank you, Scottie.
Coach, what I'd like to ask you before we let you go is your team has shown the ability to bounce back after a loss this season and not let one loss turn into two or three. What does that say about the resiliency of your group coming in, and how important is that coming into this game against Houston?
Very important. I think that, our attention to detail wasn't where it needed to be during the game. I thought our attention to detail during the practice week was fantastic. We got the attention of the whole team. When you lose a team game like we did this week, we won a team game the week before. We lost this one. It's very easy to keep the team together, and we're able to bounce back off of some of those defeats because of our character in the top end of our team, our juniors and seniors, and our ability of our young guys to follow. In years past, I'd be a lot more, nervous than I am now. Of course, you can tell now it's more of an even keel for me, not too high, not too low, because I know the character of the locker room. We'll bounce back. We'll play really well this weekend.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Coach. Look forward to hearing from you once again next Monday.